I'm going to talk about the lesson plan 2, exercise 5. That's right, elevator. Okay? Do you remember? こんにちは、ケイです。時に皆さん、パイロットに必要な英語力ってどのくらいだと思いますか？初心者で全然喋れなくてもなれるんですかね？それともネイティブばりにペラペラじゃないとなれないのか？そこで今回はカナダで現役パイロットをしている僕からですね、無料の英語レッスンのプレゼントでございます。今から皆さんには無料の英語レッスンを見ていただきたいと思います。僕は今でこそエアラインのパイロットとして働いていますが、実は以前インストラクターもしておりました。しかもですね、教官にもクラスがあって、教官コースを教えることのできる教官っていうのは一番上のですね、クラス1という教官になるんですけれども、K はね、クラス1の教官だったんですよね。そんなグレートティーチャー K からですね、皆さんに無料動画プレゼントということで、スパチャよろしくお願いしますという動画ではなくてですね、今回の動画をですね、今から航空留学を考えている皆さんの英語力チェックのために使ってほしいと思っております。このレッスン動画はですね、皆さんがフライトスクールに行った時にですね、一番最初に教官とやる授業になります。もちろん僕も日本人で日本語なまりとか、今ちょっとね、鼻づまりしてるので聞き取りづらいとかあるかもしれないんですけれども、動画を見終わった後にですね、簡単な質問を5つ用意しました。先にそちらの質問を見てからレッスン動画見ていただいても構いませんし、順番はお任せしますが、今回の僕からのレッスン動画を皆さんがどれくらい理解できてるかなというのをですね、チェックしてほしいと思います。もちろんフライトスクールに行って一発目の授業になりますので、内容は全くわからないと思うんですけれども、そこまでね、難しい内容ではないです。レッスン動画を見終わった後に全く何言ってるかわからないっていう人はですね、語学学校に行くことも検討した方がいいと思います。航空留学に興味がない方は、K の英語力ってまあこの程度なんだなとか、フライトスクールってこういうことを教えてるんだなとか、そんな感じでラジオ感覚で聞いていただけると嬉しいです。果たしてグレートティーチャー K は皆さんに分かりやすい授業をお届けすることができるのか、皆さんは K のこの鼻づまり英語を理解できるのか、それでは早速やっていきましょう。Hello everyone, my name is GTK, Great Teacher K. Alright, joke aside. My name is K. Did you sleep well today? Great. Did you read up a purple book? Even better. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about the lesson plan 2, exercise 5, unit movements. So today I'm going to follow this order. What are you going to learn? And then why we need this? And TKT, threshold knowledge test, so some sort of a review and some definitions. And the main topic unit movements, and also the safety at the end. Okay, let's get started. So today's purpose is you will learn about the range of altitude, which aircraft will normally be operated, and also how the movements are necessary to achieve and maintain the desired altitudes. You can learn about the yaw and how do you control the yaw, and why we need this. So next lesson is going to be strain level, climb, descent, turns, and later on you're going to learn about the stall or slow flight and a forced approach, takeoff, landing, all the stuff. And all the exercises, you need these skills, unit movements. So this is the fundamental basic skills. That's why we need to learn this. Okay, next one is TKT, threshold knowledge test. Okay, so I have this beautiful small airplane right here. It cost me $30 and also took me almost 3 hours to build up. Anyway, so I'm pretty sure you did the walk around with the other instructor last time. So when you did the walk around, you see the this part, right? Right here in the tail part. Do you remember the name of these? That's right, elevator. Okay. Do you remember what it's called, this part? So aileron, right? So this part is aileron. And the tail part, you remember this part? Yeah, that's called the rudder, right? Do you remember how to move it? Right, so elevator is like forward pressure and back pressure, right? In the cockpit, okay? And the aileron is left and right, right? In the yoke. And how do you control the rudder? The pedals, right? In the cockpit. Very good. All right, next one is definition, okay? I'm going to talk about the definition before I actually talk about the unit movements, okay? So VFR. So VFR stands for Visual Flight Rules, okay? So we are operating under VFR rule. That means we're not allowed to enter the clouds, and also we're not allowed to be above the clouds. Okay, so basically stay away from the clouds. As we fly the visual flight rules, we need to have the visual contact towards the ground all the time. And also as you fly today, you're gonna see the beautiful horizon. Okay, so horizon is a basically line. we're going to fly out of the Boundary Bay, this airport. When you fly towards the east, you look at the south, okay? You see the sky and also the sea. So there's a beautiful line up there. So that is the horizon. Horizon is a good reference point to determine the altitudes. All right, so definitions of the altitudes. So aircraft has the advantage of the altitudes, okay? But all the altitudes are relative to the horizon. So without the horizon, you don't know which altitudes. Movement is actually the transition between the altitudes. So there's an aircraft right here. Aircraft might fly like this, or kind of nose pointing up or nose pointing down, okay? Or tilted bank attitude like that, right? So those transitions are called movements. And there are three movements: pitching, rolling, and yawing. Okay, now let's move on to the attitude and movements main topic. Let's start with the cruise attitude. This is a very basic, important attitude. When you fly, you sit in the left seat in the cockpit, and I'm gonna sit in the right seat. And as you fly, you see the outside, you see the horizon, right? So you're not gonna see the clouds, a beautiful day, okay? You will see the line. And also you see the nose part, which is called cowling. When you see the horizon outside and also the cowling, you see the gap, okay, between the horizon and also the cowling. Usually 2 to 3 fingers, depends on your eye height, depends on like how high you are. Sometimes like 2 fingers, sometimes 3 fingers, okay? And also depends on the aircraft as well, okay? Also, you're gonna have gaps between the right wing and the left wing. So when you look at the right wingtip and the left wingtip, you also see the horizon below. These gaps should be same. That way, you know your wings are level. When you fly cruise attitude, I'm gonna point out how the instrument looks like, and also your power setting is approximately 2300 RPM. Your airspeed is roughly 90 knots. So far, so good. All right, so I'm gonna talk about the nose up attitude next. So nose up attitude, your nose actually touches on the horizon. And when you see the right and left, gap should be same still. But now nose kind of pointing upwards towards the sky. Obviously, you're gonna see the altimeter is showing the gaining altitude. Okay, next, I'm gonna talk about nose down attitude. When you're at the cruise attitude, you're gonna see your 2 or 3 fingers, typically, okay? And you'll see more than that. Let's say 5 fingers today, okay? So your nose slightly pointing down towards the ground. That is the nose down attitude. So you have the bigger gap between the cowling and also the horizon. When you look at the right wing and left wing, gap should be same still. And inside, you'll see the altimeter showing the losing altitude a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the bank left attitude and also the bank right attitude. Bank left and the bank right, okay? You need to have the gap still, okay? So from the center of the cowling towards the horizon, okay, you'll have same amount of gap as cruise, but your wings are not level anymore. Let's say bank left attitude. When you look at the left, and most likely you're gonna see the ground, okay? When you look at the right side, right wingtip, okay, you see more sky. And vice versa, bank right attitude. When you look at the right wing, you will see the ground. When you look at the left, you'll see the sky. When you're at the bank attitude, either left or right, I'm gonna point out the heading indicator instrument, okay? You're changing your direction. So you're either going to the left or right. So because of that, before you enter the bank left or bank right attitude, make sure your traffic is clear. Before you enter the bank left attitude, you look at the left, make sure no one's there, and you say clear left and a bank left. Okay, next I'm going to talk about the movements. So as I mentioned, there's 3 movements, right? Pitching movement, rolling movement, and yawing movement. Okay, now I have the tiny airplane model again. So let's say your wingtip to the wingtip here is fixed. There's a pole right here and it's fixed. Okay, only movement could happen is pitching movement. This axis is called lateral axis. Okay, now quiz again. How do you control the pitching movements? Elevator, right? Great, elevator. When you apply back pressure, elevator part goes up, right? When you apply forward pressure, elevator part goes down. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the rolling movement. From the nose part to the tail part, and if it's fixed, so only movement could happen is rolling, okay? So this is longitudinal axis. And how do you control it? Aileron. Great. So you move the yoke left, right. So when you move the yoke towards the left aileron goes up and right aileron goes down. All right, so last movement is the yawing movement, right? That is the from the top of the aircraft to the bottom of the aircraft. So it kind of skewered, okay? So this movement, okay, is called the yawing. How do you control? Rudder. That's right, the pedals, right? So when you apply the left rudder goes to the left to fix the kind of nose part. Okay, now I'm going to talk about how you actually do it. There's a procedure always. Entry, maintain, and also recovery. Always you follow this procedure. So let's start with the cruise attitude. We're going to enter from the cruise attitude to nose up attitude and back to the cruise attitude. For entry, first, okay, you apply back pressure. As you apply back pressure, and you will see your nose going up. When you see the nose part touches on the horizon, you just hold up there, okay? Stop applying back pressure and hold it there. How are you going back to the recovery part? Simply go back to cruise attitude. So release the back pressure and go back to cruise and adjust it. Okay, now cruise attitude to nose down attitude. Entry, apply forward pressure. As you apply forward pressure, you're gonna see the nose pointing down a little bit. Don't push it. When you see the 4 or 5 fingers, hold it there. When you want to recover from the nose down attitude, you just simply release it, go back to cruise attitude, and then adjust to make sure to keep the 2 or 3 fingers in front of you. Now I'm going to talk about the bank left and bank right. So start with the cruise attitude again. So as I mentioned, before you enter the bank attitude, what's the first thing you want to do? Check the traffic. That's correct. So make sure you look at the left or right and make sure nobody's there. So let's talk about the bank left attitude first. So you look at the left, nobody's there, clear left, and you enter the bank attitude. Entry part, you move the yoke to the left. As you move the yoke to the left, you'll see the aircraft bank to the left. So today, we're gonna go just shallow bank attitude, not too steep. So I'm gonna stop you. As you go to the bank left attitude, I'll say, okay, stop, that's enough. And then you stop right there. When you hold right there, this is the critical point. As you keep the yoke position towards the left, aircraft keep rolling. So make sure, okay, you neutralize the yoke. When you wanna recover, you move the yoke to the right and then go back to cruise attitude. Right side is exactly opposite. All right, so we talk about the nose up, nose down, bank left, and bank right attitude. But there's a combination of it. You get the nose up and also bank left attitude, or nose down and the bank right attitude. Important rule right here is a pitching attitude first. Always the nose up or nose down attitude first. And as you do, you look at the left or right, clear left, clear right, and then bank left. You're not gonna go back to the cruise attitude directly. First, you back to just nose up attitude, then cruise attitude. So later on, okay, you will get used to it. So you can do it at the same time, bank left and bank right, or pitch up, pitch down. Until you get used to it, always pitching attitude first to enter, roll after. And then recover from the rolling, then back to the cruise attitude. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about safety. So it is important to know which one of us has control. When I want you to have the control, I say, you have control. And I want to hear from you, I have control. So your left hand goes to the yoke, your right hand goes to the power, throttle, and your feet on the rudder. So that's a basic position. When I say, I have control, I want to hear from you, you have control, and you just let go. Don't try to override the control. Okay, today is a very good day, so it's gonna be busy. There will be lots of aircrafts around us. So we use the clock system to report the traffic. When you see the traffic in front of you, that's at 12 o'clock. And right wingtip is at 3 o'clock. And directly behind you is a 6 o'clock. And left wingtip position is at 9 o'clock. So I use it, you wanna use it, and the ATC will use it. So ATC, air traffic controller, might say, all right, traffic the 2 o'clock. Right? So it's my side, right? So in front of you, you see the front part is at 12 o'clock, and towards the right, close to the right wing depart. Right, so that's at 2 o'clock. So that's how you report the traffic. All right, any questions? Okay, now I'm going to talk about the pre-flight briefing. はい、いかがでしたでしょうか。今ね、見ていただいたレッスン動画がですね、フライトスクールに行って一発目にですね、教官とやる授業になります。それではレッスン動画に対してのクイズ5選やっていきたいと思います。ででん、質問1問目。今日のアティチュード&ムーブメントはどうして学ばないといけないんですか？結構動画の冒頭で言ってましたよね。2問目、DFR って何の略ですか？そして DFR ってどういうもののことですか？これも結構序盤で地平線が見えるよねみたいな時に話してましたね。3問目、アティチュードの中で一番基本的なアティチュードは何ですか？できればこんなものだよと説明できたらね、完璧です。4問目、バンクアティチュードに入る前に必ずやらなくちゃいけないことは何ですか？ありましたよね。操縦桿をですね、左とか右に動かす前にね、やることありましたね。5問目、飛行機を飛んでる時に別の飛行機が左の斜め前にいました。この時どういう風にトラフィックをレポートしますか？レッスン動画の最後の方で言ってましたよね。では質問は以上です。はい、皆さんはいくつ正解できましたでしょうか？わからない方はレッスン動画もう一回見てみてください。今回の動画を見てありがたいなと思った方はですね、スパチャではなくいいねよろしくお願いいたします。そしてですね、全く言ってることがちんぷんかんぷんでわからないし、質問も何のこっちゃよくわからないという方はですね、航空留学前に語学学校も行くことを検討しましょう。せっかく操縦技術は問題ないのに、英語が原因でですね、何言ってるかわからなくてレッスンを繰り返しやることになってしまってはですね、お金と時間がすごくもったいないことになるので、英語力をね、最初に強化しておきましょう。そして語学学校行きたくないっていう方もですね、英語は学んどいて損はないです。これはですね、訓練のためだけではなくて、後に永住権を取る時の英語の試験だったりとか、エアラインに行く時の面接にももちろん英語使いますので、訓練を始める前の英語力強化は必ず皆さんの役に立ちます。それでは本日の動画は以上でございます。また次回の動画でお会いしましょう。バイバイ。